Did you think I was Ric Flair? I'm not. I'm Gregory Iron. As terrifying and as awful as this mask is, it's nothing compared to the awful selection of shirts that Ric Flair has on RicFlairShop.com, I assure you. I'm professional wrestler Gregory Iron, here to bring you another exciting YouTube video from a wrestler's perspective. Before we get started with today's video, I'm going to kindly ask you to subscribe to the podcast right below this video so you get that little ding anytime we post a new video. I think it dings unless you have your phone on silent, then it doesn't, but subscribing helps. If you want more bonus content and a buttload of podcasts, go to the Iron on Wrestling Patreon at patreon.com/irononwrestling. Over the years, the way that professional wrestlers market merchandise, particularly t-shirts, has evolved. And that's mainly because of social media and a little thing called the internet. Not sure why air quotes were necessary for internet, but we'll go with it. Independent wrestlers and legendary wrestlers often use resources like ProWrestlingTees.com and use incredible artists from various walks of life to create the best merchandise in professional wrestling. The types of merchandise that you can produce 15 or 20 years ago on the independent level. However, not all independent wrestlers and legendary wrestlers utilize such platforms and artists. I'm looking at you, Ric Flair, Nature Boy. You have the most atrocious selection of t-shirts on Ric Flair's shop. We sort of touched on the fact that Ric Flair will do anything for a buck. Well, it's clear by the people that are designing his t-shirts over at RicFlairShop.com that he'll do anything to save a buck as well. I brought my handy dandy laptop down with me to record this so that we can observe some of the worst from his website. Observe. Now, if you log on to Ric Flair's shop and you check out the selection of t-shirts he has, they're not all bad, but the awful far outweighs the good. So I'm scrolling down here and let's see. The first shirt that pops out to me is a shirt that he apparently used for the 30th anniversary of Raw. That would be the Monday Night Raw 30 Years Woo shirt, in the plainest text I've ever seen in my life. I made better text designs when I was doing things on MS Paint back in the 90s. Legit. I hope he didn't pay anybody for this graphic. The same could be said about the next terrible Ric Flair t-shirt design on his website. Ric Flair joined AEW towards the end of the year here, so I guess to commemorate that, he's gone with the All Elite Woo shirt. Now, AEW All Elite Woo, not a bad premise for a shirt, but the way this graphic is laid out with just impact font and Woo in gold. I mean, what are we doing here? Plain white t-shirt. Who is buying this for $30? 30 doll hairs. There are a few shirts on here that look like they could just be something stolen directly off Facebook. Still not the worst, but not great. What is the deal with Ric Flair's style in general outside of t-shirts from his website? Like the suits that he's wearing these days? Like, I always thought Ric Flair would get older and just continue to dress classier based on the way he dressed in the 80s and 90s. And just, what has happened? It just looks like he buys plain suits and just has paint thrown all over them. It just looks... It's really fucking bad. Let's look at more shirts. I know Rick is a sports guy. I am not. I don't watch fake sports. He's got a shirt on here that says Tigers, Bulldogs, it's complicated. How does that pertain to Ric Flair's gimmick? Did he say it on a podcast or something? Is it like for a really niche crowd that I'm just missing? I don't know. I'm not sure why he has this on his website. Don't be sad, guys, but I have to inform you that the Ric Flair Just Woo It Adidas Performance Polo shirt is unfortunately sold out. $51. If you own one of these, please contact me with a picture of you wearing it, because I just find it hard to believe that this sold out unless there was like 4 available. St. Patty's Day is coming up in a couple months, so if you're feeling festive, you can always get the Leprechaun Woo shirt featuring Ric Flair, as you would expect, dressed as a leprechaun. Okay. Of all the shirts you could buy featuring Ric Flair, that most certainly is one of them. Royal Rumble 92 limited edition shirt with the Royal Rumble type font. It looks very pixelated and poor. I want to know who's buying this stuff, because it is bad. I want to know who's designing it. Maybe I'm not as big of a Nature Boy fan as I thought. What is the story behind the Ric Flair drawing and him holding a sledgehammer and says, "What are friends for?" Am I one of the worst shirts that jumps out at me? And tell me in the comments below if you agree or disagree with this one. Look at this graphic. The web black unisex t-shirt. There's a spider web on this shirt, and it says, "Remember this, girls. None of you could be the first, but all of you can be the next. Woo, Ric Flair." Why a spider web? I mean, as far as I can remember, Ric Flair never did anything that would involve a spider and or a web. I could be forgetting about something. Is he looking for girls that perhaps have some cobwebs forming in certain areas of their body? I don't know. I doubt it. And don't worry, girls. This shirt is also available in white and pink. Just in case you were wondering. The irony in this shirt, this last shirt. This is a Ric Flair quote, but it's just funny that this is on a shirt, considering all the trash that we just looked at. I don't know what that costs, but I would be ashamed to wear it. Ric Flair shop, everybody. At the end of the day, I do not know why you would buy these shirts, unless you unironically like buying terrible shirts like I do. I have so many of those terrible wrestling shirts from the Attitude Era. APA, Val Venus, okay, 24 karat ass. I own those, but in an ironic way. If anybody buys these shirts in a like, wow, I can't believe they have a Woo spiderweb shirt available on Ric Flair's website, I have to buy this. I question the type of human you are. I might ask you to go take an IQ test, get your head examined. And Ric Flair, if you're watching this for some reason, your shirts need improvement. Perhaps you should hit up my boy Juan Ortiz of the Dead Designs, or just any selection of individuals with any graphic arts ability. I'm just trying to get you more money, Rick. So, woo! Do you know of any professional wrestlers that have their own website with worst t-shirt designs than Ric Flair? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you follow me on social media at Gregory Iron on X and at Gregory_Iron on Instagram. Subscribe to the podcast so you can get more videos like this. And if you want to hear more Ric Flair stuff, check out our video on Woo Energy to see how good or absolutely disgusting that drink is.